Good morning, everyone. My name is Lolade. I am a conservation account manager at CLEAResult. And we are here today to discuss the SaskPower's Commercial Energy Optimization Program. I am based in Regina, and today we have three different presenters. My name is Lolade again. I will be doing a high-level overview of the custom incentive services stream of the SaskPower's Commercial Energy Optimization Program. I have my colleague here with me on the call as well. His name is Larry. He's going to be doing a deep dive into the custom incentive services stream. And our engineering manager is also here as well. His name is Cameron, and he's going to do uh, show us how to use the worksheet, the custom incentive services worksheet. Thank you very much. Again, the program is custom incentive services stream. That is the stream we're talking about today in the SaskPower's Commercial Energy Optimization Program. This stream is funded by SaskPower and Sask Energy, and the aim is to help businesses reduce their carbon footprint and to also provide incentives for implementation of retrofit projects. I want to appreciate everyone for joining this webinar today. And we also want to appreciate our sponsors, SaskPower and Sask Energy. This program has been put together by them, and they are the ones that are funding this stream. Before we continue, I would like to talk about certain general housekeeping rules. A copy of this presentation and the video recording will be distributed after the webinar. Participants will be muted for the duration of the webinar. To ask a question, please use the Q&A function with the Microsoft Teams. All questions will be addressed at the end of the webinar. If there are any questions left unaddressed, we will reach out through emails on an individual basis. Today, we will talk about CLEAResult, the company. Of course, we are doing the presentation today, and it is CLEAResult that is doing the presentation. We will talk about the overview of the offerings within the SaskPower's Commercial Energy Optimization Program. We will also discuss the custom incentive services. We will engineer will teach us how to use the workbook, and we will discuss the resources that are available, and we'll talk about next steps. Afterwards, we will take your questions. Again, we want to appreciate our sponsors, SaskPower and Sask Energy, for bringing this initiative to Saskatchewan to help commercial businesses to reduce their carbon footprint and to also reduce the cost of implementation of their retrofit projects. And I want to say that we are gathered here today because you are SaskPower's efficiency partner, Sask Energy Network member, or you are a commercial business owner or a vendor. And the aim of this presentation is that after today, you will be able to tell your clients about the incentives that are available through SaskPower and Sask Energy to reduce the cost of implementation of their retrofit projects, and that you will be able to submit an application on their behalf. They can also submit applications by themselves, and the vendors can also do some form of energy saving calculations for them and also submit applications for them. ClearResult Canada. Yes, so we are ClearResult Canada, and we are an energy consulting organization. We have over 350 energy professionals. We have subject matter experts that can provide advice to you and also help you in your energy conservation journey. We have processed over $1 billion in rebates and funding through the programs that we manage for our clients. We also have partners across Canada. We have clients across Canada that we work with. So today, like I said, we will be talking about the three streams that we have in this program. But the stream that is of concern today is the custom incentive services stream. But I will just do like a quick overview of the energy support services and the energy coach services before I discuss the custom incentive services. Now, the energy support services is a stream that we usually recommend for small to medium-sized commercial businesses that have 1 to 2 buildings within their portfolio and consume up to 1 gigawatt-hour electricity annually. In this stream, what we do is we provide an actual level 1 audit, and we generate initiatives, and we come up with recommendations on how businesses can be more energy efficient in their day-to-day activities. Sometimes in this stream, we are able to come up with projects, capital intensive projects. Sometimes the projects that we come up with are low cost or no cost. So when there is a capital intensive project that have been identified, we guide the business to apply for incentives to reduce the cost of implementation of their retrofit project through the custom incentive services stream. The energy coach services has all the benefits of the energy support services, but there are additional benefits. One of the benefits will be that there is a $30,000 incentive that is attached to the energy coach services stream, and a company or a business that will be eligible for the energy coach services stream will be able to nominate an energy champion that will work with our energy coach for capability development, and they can take back best practices to the organization. For a business to be eligible for the energy coach services, they need to have multiple buildings within their portfolios, and they have to consume up to or more than 5 gigawatt hour electricity annually. All right, so the last stream is the custom incentive services stream, and this is the reason we are here today. The custom incentive services stream is funded, like I said before, by SaskPower and Sask Energy, and it's like a financial package to help reduce the cost of implementation of retrofit projects. So if your project is saving on electricity or natural gas, there are incentives available through SaskPower and Sask Energy to help to for funding, to help fund the project. And there are also incentives available if the project is coming through the ESS stream or the ECS stream, so you can benefit. At the same time, you can just bring in your project directly. What do I mean by this? Some companies will say, "Oh, I want to do actual level 1 audit. I want to see what opportunities are there." Some other companies don't need to do actual level 1 audit. They know the uh, projects they want to do, so they are not going to wait for an opportunity register to be generated. They are not going to wait for an energy code. They know what they want to do, so they can just apply to this stream. So if a company comes to you as as a business, and they say, "Oh, we want to do this project. We need so and so number of equipment and all of that," you can direct them to the custom incentive services straight, and they will be able to apply for rebate and funding for their projects. And I want to say that any commercial facility within Saskatchewan can participate in this program. Our government buildings can participate in this program. Even your business can participate. And what do I mean by this? Even though you are a vendor or you are SaskPower efficiency partner, or your Sask Energy network member, if you want to do a retrofit, if you want to do an equipment retrofit for your own building, you can submit an application for yourself as well. You can submit on behalf of your client. Your client can submit by themselves, and you can also submit your buildings if you want to, or your project for your buildings if you have projects that you want to, retrofit projects that you want to embark on. Thank you very much.
All right.
So yes,
yeah.
yes, I will let Larry make his own presentation now.
Thank you, Lolade. Yeah, my name is Landry. I'm a conservation account manager at CLEAResult. I'm based out here in Regina. Like Lolade mentioned, I'll be doing a deep dive of the CIS stream. And Cameron, our engineering manager, will cover the CIS application workbook and show you how to fill it out. Again, I say thank you to the SaskPower efficiency partners that are here with us today. the Saks Energy network members, all vendors, and individual organizations that have joined us for this webinar. As mentioned earlier, the primary objective of the CEOP is to support commercial businesses and organizations in Saskatchewan to identify and implement energy-saving projects. Like Lolade said, you do not necessarily need to enroll in the ECS or ESS stream before you can benefit from the incentives available in the CIS stream. I'm aware some of our ESS and ECS participants are here with us also. So yeah, this is just to talk more about the CIS stream and how you can take advantage of the incentives provided by SaskPower and Saks Energy. The incentive amount is based on verified energy savings, that's achieved through your retrofit project. In essence, if a facility owner has a retrofit project that will result in significant electrical energy savings or natural gas savings, then it will qualify for incentives through this CIS stream. And by significant savings, we mean projects that will generate a minimum of $1,500 in calculated incentives. That's equivalent to about 11,600 kilowatt hour savings per year for non-lighting projects, or 25,000 kilowatt hour savings per year for lighting projects, or about 100 gigajoule of natural gas savings per year. We'll get to the details later. One important requirement, however, is that you have to submit your application before you start the implementation of your project. That's before equipment procurement, delivery, or installation. We will share a copy of the application package with you. And as I mentioned earlier, Cameron will guide us on how to fill it out shortly. So when you submit your application, we'll review it. We'll look at your project scope. We'll look at the cost. We'll look at the estimated annual energy savings and determine what the incentive amount will be. Then we'll communicate it to you and submit to SaskPower or Saks Energy for approval. And once the application is approved, you'll be notified to implement your project. And after confirmation of implementation and approval, the incentive amount will be paid directly to the customer or facility owner or the project owner. To calculate the incentive, we multiply the estimated annual energy savings by the approved incentive rate. As we can see on the screen, for lighting projects, the incentive rate is 6 cents per kilowatt hour. For non-lighting projects, it's 13 cents per kilowatt hour. And for natural gas savings, it's $15 per gigajoule. Facility owners and applicants could receive up to $100,000 in incentives, for the electrical energy saving projects, and an additional $100,000 for natural gas saving projects. That is like a maximum of $200,000 is available to every applicant. Now, this incentive amount is capped at 50% of the total eligible project cost, or as said, $100,000 per fuel type, whichever is lower. And if the estimated incentive amount is equal to or greater than $75,000, we need to agree a measurement and verification procedure so we can confirm the post-implementation energy savings. Now, the customer journey is pretty simple and straightforward. As SaskPower's efficiency partners or Saks Energy's network members or vendors, when your customer requests a quote for any energy savings project, just tell them about the CEOP and tell them about the incentive opportunities available through the CIS stream. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to send you a copy of this presentation deck and the CIS application workbook, and you can share it with your customers. So once they agree to proceed, just fill out the application workbook, which Cameron will walk us through, and fill it on their behalf and submit to us through our email. That's saskpowerceop@clearesult.com. We'll get to that also later. So send the application workbook with your quote and specification sheet. And for the customer, that's the facility owner, you can as well fill out the workbook directly if you're comfortable with it, or otherwise just let us know and we'll be happy to support you to fill it out. So once the workbook is filled out, we'll review it for completeness and let you know if you require additional details. Then we forward to SaskPower or Saks Energy for pre-approval, depending on the type of project you're implementing, if it's electrical savings project or natural gas savings project. So upon pre-approval, a participant agreement detailing the project scope, the cost, the estimated energy savings, and the incentive amount will be communicated to you and sent to you so the facility owner can sign off on. So after signing, the project implementation could commence. And once completed, just share that confirmation with us, including photos and invoices and the M&V measures if required. We'll then review, the post-submission documents, ensure completeness, and submit to SaskPower or Saks Energy for final approval. The incentive amount is paid directly to the facility owner or project owner or the applicant upon approval, upon the final approval. Cameron will now guide us through the CIS application workbook to demonstrate how to complete it, maybe with one or two examples. Cameron, over to you.
Thanks, Lonry. So I'll just take over sharing the screen here quickly. So if I can just get a thumbs up or somebody can say something if they can see my screen here. Lonry, is everything okay? Screen's visible? Yep. Okay, we got some hands raised. Perfect. All right, so before I jump into going through the custom workbook, I just want to quickly talk about who will be filling out this workbook. And the short answer is it can vary from project to project. As mentioned previously, when bringing forward a project, it doesn't necessarily need to be the facility owner. The facility owner could have brought on a consultant, they could have brought on a contractor, something to that effect, who could help them through the administrative and calculation process that is part of this program. Now, with that said, the applicant, the participant, still does need to be somebody who is the owner or operator of the facility. They need to be able to legally bind that facility, and they need to be the one saying, hey, I am going to install this piece of machinery at my facility, and I am the one paying for that equipment retrofit, and therefore they are the participant. But they could bring, again, somebody on to help them actually fill out the workbooks themselves, or they can do it themselves as well. So this first tab here, we're just looking at the initial intake form for the Commercial Energy Optimization Program. All of the gray filled in cells are items where you can add information accordingly. Things like your project ID, which will be provided by CLEAResult, your organization name. Again, we get to that participant information. That's the actual participant or the applicant who will be having this equipment installed at their facility. So the names, phones, email addresses, along with some just general facility information such as address, square footage. We'll also ask here if you have any of the general required documentation, so 12 months of utility data, which is a minimum, preliminary savings target, which is optional, but just a general target of what you're looking for your savings, as well as the signed participant agreement itself. We also have some checklists around what CEOP services you may be interested in, and you can just check all of them that apply. This way, if you're coming to CIS directly, but maybe you still have some other facilities you'd like to look into for energy support services or energy coach services, we can help you there. Similarly, we have a DRE activities to apply for the projects as well, and you can just work through that and say, like, yeah, these are some of the other items I might be interested in. You can go through Energy Coach and support services and then come to custom incentives. You can go to custom incentives directly. It really depends on your facility, where you're at in your energy efficiency journey. You just have to let us know. And if you fill these out, it can really help us support you accordingly. Finally, if you have additional facilities under your purview you would like to have considered under separate applications, you can provide them to us here. Again, it just really helps our outreach and to ensure that if there's any other items you want to have looked at, we can have that conversation with you and work through it accordingly. Now, moving into the incentive summary, we'll start off with the electricity savings tab here. So when looking at this tab, all of the blue cells are ones that we will fill in with information that we have, and the other cells will just automatically populate and calculate accordingly. So first off, we'll see the project measure name. For now, we're just going to look at a little bit of a lighting example. So just a general lighting project. If you have multiple projects at a single facility, you can absolutely just add different line items. It's just completely up to you. Maybe you have a lighting project and you have a rooftop unit you like to retrofit. Well, you can either amalgamate them or you can separate them. Completely up to you. When we go over to the type of project, we have both in this drop-down menu, lighting and non-lighting. Now, this will directly impact what incentive type we're working with. As per the previous slides, the lighting is a lower incentive, whereas non-lighting provides a higher incentive. So you'll select which type of project you'd like to move forward with. Next up will be your pre-project case. So this is your actual base case. This is what exists at your facility today. So we'll be looking for average peak demand of the existing equipment, as well as annual consumption in kilowatt hours of the existing equipment. As an example, let's say you have 100 lights and the 100 lights are all just 10 watts, then you're going to be looking at 1 kilowatts of demand there. And if it operates 8,000 hours a year, that's 8,000 kilowatt hours a year as an example. So this is where you're going to just be providing us the annual consumption for the measures you want to look at for the purposes of your incentive calculation. The numbers we're using are a bit bigger here for the example. We're using just 50 kilowatts and 500,000 kilowatt hours for your lights that exist. Next up is the post-project case. So this is what you are intending to install. This is what you have gone through and designed for and said, like, okay, you know what, we're going to take those lamps that we had before and we're going to switch them all to LED lights instead. And these are the LED lights I'm looking at right now. So we're just going to directly compare the two together. Now, these lights haven't been installed. And if we're looking at this from a pre-project application standpoint, like you're in that part of the timeline Laundry just showed you, you haven't purchased them, they haven't been installed. So these are generally estimates at that initial phase. We're just looking at them at a very high level and saying, this is what I intend to install. These are how many I intend to install. And this is how much I imagine they'll consume under the same operating criteria as what exists in my facility today. So for this example, we've just chopped the base case in half, and we're looking at 25 kilowatts of demand in the post project, along with 250,000 kilowatt hours of post-case consumption. The final column under post-project case is your project costs. The reason we ask for this, again, this can just be from quotes and the like, does not have to be a final actual estimated cost amount. Just we ask that it be as accurate as possible because it does impact your incentive, as there is a limiter for your incentive of 50% of your project cost. Now, if you look at the bottom left of this tab, just right over here, you'll see two other blue cells that we can look at. So one is utility account number, and the other is the hourly kilowatt hour rate. So these do not impact your incentive calculation itself, but they do impact some of the project economics that we'll just go through in a moment. So if you see here, we have 15 cents per kilowatt hour as just a general value for the kilowatt hour rate. If you want to review your own bills, add your utility account number to this workbook and update the actual utility rate to what you pay, it will just give you a better value or more accurate value for some of the project economics we'll go through in a second. So moving past our manual inputs, we're now moving into just the automatically calculated pieces. So the first one is the estimated savings. This is just going to show you, based on what you've input and what you've calculated, what your average peak demand savings are, what your annual savings are in kilowatt hours, along with those project economics I just mentioned. The first being your project incentivization rates, or sorry, incentivization percentage. This will show, based on your provided project cost, how much the incentive is going to cover of that value. It'll also give you a simple payback period without incentive in years, and it'll show you the simple payback period with incentive in years. So just from this, we can see in the example, we're looking at almost half a year removed from the payback period when you include the incentive in your calculations. We also have an approximate GHG reduction in tons of CO2 equivalency. This does not impact your incentive either, but if you're going through some energy efficiency initiatives within with your customers, within your company, maybe this is a value you just want to be able to reference to show how your savings projects are affecting your footprint. Finally, we get to the actual calculated incentive value, and this will be the estimated incentive value for your facility based on the information that you have provided. Now, this value will, of course, change depending on all of your inputs. One thing I would like to make clear, and I know that Laundry touched on it earlier, is that during the pre-application process, there's a lot of estimations going on, and this value is an incentive estimation. So in the event that you purchase and install everything the exact same way as you've presented it to us at this stage, this is the incentive you will receive. However, in the event that something changes from pre to post submission, you end up buying more lights, you end up buying less lights, they're more efficient, they're less efficient, this value will change accordingly. So we are going to be providing an incentive based on actual confirmed savings after the equipment has been installed. So some of these values can update, and I just want to remind everybody of that. Now, with that being said, if you get more savings and you end up installing more efficient lamps or more efficient equipment, your incentive could actually increase from your original estimated value. But if you have a really large scope change, you end up using less efficient equipment just because of budgetary constraints or the like, the incentive will go down accordingly. So this value denotes what you will receive if you have completed and installed everything as it was presented in the initial workbook. Now, just going back here, we can also see if we swap this to non-lighting as an example, that the incentive rates and the incentive itself will adjust accordingly. So under these conditions, you're now looking at a 65% project incentivization rate, which would be $32,500. But as I mentioned before, we are capped at that 50% project cost. So with an estimated cost of $50,000, you would only receive the $25,000. Now, if your costs went up, then you would receive more of that incentive funding, but we will be basing the incentive off of the actual invoiced amounts for the equipment. Moving right along, we'll just talk about the incentive summary for gas. I won't go into too much depth as this is basically the same format as what we just saw for electricity. The differences here is the incentives are no longer based on dollars per kilowatt hour. They're now based on dollars per gigajoule. But looking just again, project measure name, a boiler retrofit here, we're looking at that base case consumption of let me pull that up a bit. We're looking at that base case consumption of 3,000 gigajoules, the post-project case estimation or final values of 1,500 gigajoules, and an estimated cost for this project of about $50,000. It will give you back your estimated savings, the project economics, and the incentive, as I mentioned in the previous tab. However, I would also like to draw your attention again to the utility count number and the gas rate at the bottom left. We provide a general gas rate of $5.45 per gigajoule, but I just want to note that if you would like to, again, make this more towards your own rates, your delivery and commodity rates in dollars per cubic meter shown on the Sask energy bill can be converted to a rate of dollars per gigajoule by dividing it by the Sask Energy's forecast heating value, and that value is 0.03950. And this note and just that statement is on this workbook. So when you're looking at your bill, if you see things in dollars per meter cube, you're like, I don't know what this is in gigajoules, you can divide your rates by the 0.03950 number to get you your rate specifically. Moving back to the calculated values, we still have those same columns, the estimated savings, project incentivization percentages, simple paybacks in years with and without incentive, as well as your calculated incentive. The gas and electricity are both subject to the same incentive limiters and the same minimum incentive requirements of $1,500 for eligibility. The next tab here is the project description tab. This is where you can provide us just more information in general about the projects that either you as building owners or as market representatives are looking to install, things like operating hours, equipment quantities, model numbers, and just anything else you feel would be relevant to note to help us with the technical review of your project. We have a space for your base case materials, and we also have a space for the retrofit or post-project system equipment and descriptions. Any kind of information you think would be useful for us to have, any kind of just high-level assumptions you think is a good idea to mention, you can have them here. We also have our project timelines. This is just a space for you to have your estimated project start date and completion dates. It can be very useful because of the rules surrounding the program, where you need to be looking to get pre-approval before you purchase anything. If you have tight deadlines, if there's big lead times on getting your equipment, you can work with us and just communicate with us. And through these project timelines, we can help ensure that we get everything completed to meet your deadlines. So just a spot for you to kind of have that high level estimate of what these timelines for you look like. The next two tabs are around energy analysis, both pre and post. So as I mentioned before, although we are incenting for the final actual realized savings, we're going to need incentive estimates at the start based on what you believe you will be installing or what you believe you will have and be working with for these facilities. So if you have a project and you're like, okay, here's my current existing lights and here are my expected lights I'm going to want to have installed for this project, we're going to be working with you accordingly, and we're going to need to be able to substantiate those items. So in this tab here will be where you could put your energy analysis for your existing equipment or the existing equipment at the facility you're working on behalf of. So this is where that can go. If you have your own spreadsheets, you have your own analysis, your own template, you could provide that to us and just leave a note in here that you're going to be providing it separately. But if it's a relatively straightforward analysis, here is a space that can be used for that. And then the other tab is simply for the retrofit calculations so that we can compare what you input into the spreadsheet, into the workbook, and see how you came to those values. So again, if you have your own calculations and you have a way you prefer to set it up that doesn't look like this, you can always provide us those spreadsheets and we can add a summary in here or some notes accordingly. But these are just spaces for you to provide us that analysis because we will need the substantiation for your energy savings claims, whether you are the applicant doing your own calculations or a contractor or other representative helping out your customer accordingly. With that said, I will wrap it up here and give the presentation back to Lonry. If there's any questions, please just put them in the chat and we'll address them accordingly.
Yeah. Thank you, Cam. Okay, Lolade, you may share the screen again. Slide 11. All right. Yeah. So again, thank you, Cameron. You can access online resources about the CEOP and the CIS stream through the SaskPower website. Just Google SaskPower CEOP or visit www.saskpower.com and enter CEOP in the search bar. It will lead you to this web page and you can access the program guide, the intake form, the CIS workbook, the FAQs, and other details. So, for next steps, as vendors, SaskPower efficiency partners, Saks Energy Network members, or direct participants as facility owners, please feel free to email us at any time, saskpowerceop@clearresult.com if you need further information on the program. Like I mentioned earlier, you can access the CIS workbook from SaskPower website. So if you're a vendor or you're an efficiency partner or a network member, you are also free to discuss this incentive opportunity with your customers and share the slide deck or the workbook with them. And if you are the direct applicant, that's the equipment owner or the project owner, you can also fill out the CIS application package like Cameron mentioned earlier. or you get a vendor to support in filling it out. We are equally available to support you to fill it out. Just email us at SaskPowerCEOP@ClearResult.com, and our team will reach out to guide you through the application process. So, again, if you have any questions or you want to know more about the program, just email us or call either of the numbers displayed on the screen. Usually from Mondays to Fridays between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. SACS time. All right, Lolade, I think we can take a look at the Q&A section now. I see most of the questions have been responded to. We have a question. Let me pick the first question here. I think we have a question on examples of non-lighting projects. And we say, yeah, this involve any retrofit projects that will save on energy that doesn't involve changing of your light bulbs. This could be your HVAC systems, your boilers, your heat pumps, your furnace, your chillers, building automation systems, your building envelope changes, your windows, roof, and doors. Anything not involving changing light bulbs. We have other questions in the Q&A section, and we also have some general questions from customers from time to time. For instance, we have questions like, can a customer submit multiple CIS applications? And the answer is yes. If you have different sizable qualifying retrofit projects, you can submit them. But if the individual savings on your retrofit projects are not too significant, then we can stack them. We can batch all of them in one application, like Cameron mentioned earlier. Right, Lolade, can we see if we have more questions in the Q&A section?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, can you see the questions?
I'm seeing slide 12. Okay, let me just pick.
All right, I have a question here. Is this workbook available from SaskPower or Sask Energy, or is this something from your company? All right, the workbook is available on SaskPower's website, on the CEOP website from SaskPower. So it is not something from ClearResult, it's something from SaskPower.
And you can also send us an email. We send a copy to you as well. I have another question here. If we do a lighting upgrade and a boiler retrofit for the same building, does that have to happen in one application, or can we send that in two separate applications? Well, that's completely at your discretion. If they're happening at the same time, yeah, it's better to combine them in one application. But if you're going to be implementing them at different times, then you can send two separate applications.
Okay, so the next question here is, are energy audits required to access the incentive stream? No, the energy audit is not required to access the incentive stream. As long as you know the project that you want to do and it's going to yield energy savings, just come with your application and yeah, you'll be eligible to enroll that project for the CIS. Yeah.
Okay, I have another question here. Is there any chance for retroactive recognition? We recently installed a high efficiency furnace within our center. Okay, unfortunately, no. CIS program must be applied for or two before you implement your projects. So we encourage all participants, as long as you identify any retrofit projects within your organization, please let us know. Send us an email or fill out the application form, and at least let's start to look at your projects before you implement them. So for already implemented projects, they are not eligible to apply for the CIS stream.
Okay, so the next question will be, does facility energy assessment? Okay, so I think what the person wants to write is that if you do energy assessment, if you want to do energy assessment, will you get incentive for that? So that is what the person wants to write. But yeah, energy assessments do not qualify for funding through the CIS stream, but could be completed through the ESS stream.
Yeah, I have another question here. Is CIS available for new build, like medium-sized apartment? Well, the CIS, new buildings are excluded from the CIS stream, but multifamily residential buildings are eligible to apply for the their retrofit projects. Maybe if I will answer broadly that what projects are excluded from the CIS. Now, new construction measures are excluded, renewable energy measures are excluded, fuel switching are excluded, and if you are retrofitting for industrial or manufacturing or single-family apartments, to those projects are excluded. So the CIS is mainly for commercial facilities, including multifamily residential apartments, for retrofit projects, not projects for new buildings.
All right, so I have another question. Are municipal buildings eligible? Yes, they are eligible. Government buildings are eligible. Municipal buildings are eligible. Commercial buildings are eligible for the CIS stream. Okay, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The next question is the $100,000 cap, excuse me, is the $100 cap per project, per building, or per customer? Okay, so the $100 cap is for it is not per customer, it is per your project. So if you have a project and it's going to yield up to your savings is going to save up to $100,000. So that project is eligible. If you have multiple projects, you can submit the multiple projects that you have.
Yeah, I think a question was asked earlier too, that what's considered as eligible project cost. That would be the cost of equipment purchase, cost of installation, the cost of decommissioning and disposal of your replaced equipment.
Okay, so the next question is, if we do a lighting upgrade and a boiler retrofit for the same building, does that have to happen on one application, or can we send that in on two different applications? Okay, I think we answered that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess a general question also that I guess particularly the Saks Energy customers may ask is to know if the Saks Energy prescriptive rebate is stackable with the CIS. Well, the answer is no, but we'll ensure as much as possible that Saks Energy customers get the best incentive value from either the prescriptive rebate or through the CIS stream.
All right, so we have another question. Does this incentive apply to Saskatchewan camps upgrading their furnaces in chalet and lodge buildings? Is that considered commercial? We have 5 furnaces from the early 90s in one building. Yes, I would imagine yes. Camp is a commercial business. It is not residential. So yes, your chalet, your lodge buildings, they are commercial. As long as they are used for commercial purposes, then they will be eligible.
Do we have any more questions?
I don't think we have more questions.
Okay, please send us your questions. Just post it on the Q&A section, and we still have time to take your question. And if for any reason we, can't take your question right away, or you have questions later on, please shoot us an email at saskpowerceop@clearresult.com. Or we still have some minutes to take your questions, so please just roll them in.
Okay, I have, what if my building is residential on the second floor and commercial on the main floor, but 3 furnace systems cover both floors? So I think that, Colin, if you could give us your email, we will get back to you on that. That is for Colin.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Again, like we mentioned earlier, a copy of the slide deck will be shared with participants today. We'll also send a copy of the video recording as well. Okay. Do we have more questions?
Yeah, I think I have one. Does a condo facility meet the qualification? Multi-story high-rise. So for your for if if it's a if it's a residential facility, it does not meet it. So if you have like a condo, if you have a condo, you see the common areas, yes, and you want to do like a retrofit, you want to retrofit the the equipments that are in the common areas. Yes, you could, your project could be eligible. But if you're just doing an individual, just one apartment or just one building, then
Family.
you will not be eligible.
Yeah. If it's single family condo, no, but if it's multi-residential with common areas, yes, yes, the building is eligible to apply. Okay. Do we have more questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Well, I think we have a question on if the video will be sent to the email registered. Yes, yes, we'll send a copy of the slide deck, the application workbook, and the video recordings to the emails registered for the event, for this event.
Okay, so I have a question. It said, what about commercial condos?
Yeah, yeah, there are commercial facilities, they're eligible.
Okay, have we answered this question? Is there a certain level of efficiency of the lights that need to be achieved to qualify? Yes. So the light has to be LED. It has to be not LED. It has to be Energy Star rated. This DLC listed.
Okay. Do we have any more questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay, I
Let
think
me
we still
see.
have some.
Okay, what we have one now. What
Okay.
if we purchased a commercial building that needs upgrades like lighting and window? Can we use utility data from the previous owner?
Yes, please. As long as there's no equipment upgrade done between the time the facility was handed over, yes, please. They show the historical record of energy use in the building, so you can. Okay. Um, any more question? Okay, I think there's also a general question about who gets the incentive payment. Is it the vendor or consultant, the efficiency partner? Who gets the actual payment? The payment is made out to the facility owner, that's the project owner, the uh, owner and end user of the retrofitted equipment. So the vendor is just more like you know giving support to the facility owner to complete the forms and get the CIS approval. But the final payment will be made directly by SaskPower or Saks Energy to the facility owner. Any new question?
None for now.
Okay. So like we mentioned earlier, if you think of any question later on, please feel free to shoot us an email at saxpowerceop@clearresult.com, and we'll be happy to respond immediately. And also, when you get a copy of the slide deck, and if at any time you have any question, please, we are always here to support you through this journey. Okay, Lolade, do we have any new question?
No.
All right.
Oh, we can share we can share the email contact.
All right. All right. We'll say a big thank you to everyone present today, the SaskPower efficiency partners, the Saks Energy Network members, all consultants and vendors that are here, all commercial business owners that are here today. Thank you so much for the time. We look forward to seeing your applications. SaskPower and Saks Energy will also be excited to support you in retrofitting your equipment and making your buildings more energy efficient. So like we said, please be free to send us an email, SaskPower CEOP at CLEAResult.com, and we'll be happy to connect with you to support you through this journey. All right. So thank you so much. Any questions we are unable to address at the moment, we'll get back to you. We'll send you an email to address your questions. Thank you once again for joining us. Lolade, any closing remark?
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to receiving your applications. Thank you so much.
Okay, and Cameron, any closing remark?
Pardon? I couldn't hear that, Larry.
Yeah, any closing remark before we call it a day?
No. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate all of the questions and feedback. And again, if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to email us. We'd be more than happy to connect offline to address any lingering questions or concerns.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.